He made it through 3 combat deployments, pulled 12 people back from death, and returned home as a decorated hero, only to be shot in plain sight by a police officer who never once checked his ID. As shock rippled across the country, the Pentagon stepped forward, and what should have been a quiet soldier's homecoming became a national reckoning. No one could look away from Eli. Turner had driven this stretch of road countless times, past faded billboards, broken sidewalks, and the old oak leaning over Route 67 like a silent observer. His thoughts were simple: fixing his mother's roof over the weekend, maybe firing up the grill out back. Small things, normal things, proof that he was finally home. After 3 tours overseas, home was supposed to mean safety. The patrol car appeared in his rearview mirror. Red and blue lights shattered the dusk. Eli blinked, flipped on his signal, and calmly eased onto the shoulder. He put the SUV in park, inhaled slowly, and lowered his window. His military ID was clipped to the visor right, where it had always been since the day he left base. Footsteps came fast. Too fast? His heart rate spiked, but his training kept him steady. He stayed still. The officer came into view, face flushed, jaw tight. Out. Now. The officer snapped. Eli kept his voice controlled, even. Yes, sir. He opened the door and stepped out carefully, lifting both hands high above his head. A gust of wind tugged at his hoodie, exposing the edge of the Bronze Star tattoo across his ribs. His wallet and ID slipped from his fingers, hitting the pavement near the officer's boot. The officer didn't glance down. You one of those street boys? He sneered. Think you're special? I'm Staff Sergeant Eli Turner. Eli replied evenly. United States Army. The smirk that followed was colder than the metal in the officer's grip. Yeah, his finger tightened. Then you should be used to this. Eli never saw the flash. The impact stole the air from his lungs as the world slammed into him. Pain tore across his chest. He gasped, staring up at the sky as tree branches blurred overhead. Screams erupted. Phones came up. Voices cracked. Call an ambulance. The officer stood over him, weapon still raised. Stay down. Blood pooled beneath Eli's shoulders. His heartbeat thundered in his ears, but he forced himself to stay awake. He had survived worse than this. He wasn't going to die on the side of an American road. Sirens wailed in the distance. A woman's voice, shaking yet firm, spoke into her phone. He didn't resist. He stayed calm. He said he was Army. They shot him anyway. The video went live within minutes. By the time Eli was stabilized in the trauma ward, more than 20 million people had already watched. Headlines flooded every screen. Decorated black soldier shot. During traffic stop, Pentagon demands answers. Veterans packed at the hospital lobby pressed uniforms, medals catching the harsh fluorescent light. News anchors replayed footage from the day Eli carried 2 wounded teammates from a burning convoy. The ceremony where he was awarded the Bronze Star, and now, this at the precinct. The officer who fired the shot sat pale behind a metal desk. An internal affairs agent read from a page in a flat voice. You are relieved of duty, pending criminal charges. The officer didn't argue. There was nothing left to say. 3 days later, Eli returned, this time in full dress uniform, Bronze Star pinned to his chest. The courtroom rose as he entered, some faces heavy with guilt, others with respect. Even the judge's voice wavered. Staff Sergeant Turner, thank you for your service. Across the aisle, the former officer stared at the floor. Witnesses took the stand. Generals spoke of Eli's courage under fire. Medics described the lives he saved. A psychologist detailed the unseen wounds he still carried. The jury needed less than 2 hours. Guilty. Abuse of power. Intent to harm. When the sentence was read, Eli didn't celebrate. He simply closed his eyes, knowing the moment wasn't just for him. It was for every veteran who came home expecting peace and found fear instead. And for every Black American who has wondered whether doing everything right would ever be enough, what would you do if this were your reality? Drop a comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because silence protects injustice, and your voice matters.